So all I'm saying is that at Bulgogi Boys, the fries are fucking bomb as shit. Like, the wings are good, the fries are good, the tacos are good, everything's good over there, man. Which is why everybody should definitely check out Bulgogi Boys at the Block and other locations, which we'll link down below. This podcast is sponsored by, no it's not, but John does work for them, so in some way that is part of it. So anyways, before we get into the thing, just want to let everybody know who's listening before we lose all y'all's attention. We are going to be primarily talking about PS5. If that piques your interest, go for it. If it doesn't, well, we'll talk about other stuff maybe, but like for right now, that is what we're going to focus on. So we'll just go from there. Josh, what have you been up to this week?
This week, let's see, what have I been up to? Mostly enjoying Shudder.
Oh, right. For those who don't know, Shudder is a streaming service for horror movies, shows, and other documentaries that are on there. For only X amount of dollars a month, you can check out your favorite unlimited selection of streaming only on Shudder.
It's like $5.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad at all.
For a niche service where obviously you're only going to be there's not like you're subscribing to it because you want a vast library of different genres. So for a single genre focused thing, that's not bad.
Yeah, not too terrible. I've been watching The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob. The documentaries they have on there are pretty neat too. So it's been fun.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Did you pick up anything good?
I got some stuff that I needed, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the majority of my week, I think. I don't know, I really can't think of anything else.
Mallory?
I didn't do too much. I helped people move. I watched more Gilmore Girls. It's been a pretty hectic week with work, so I didn't get much time to do very much, so it's about my week.
I was about to say something, but then I forgot you're white, so yeah, Gilmore Girls makes sense. Mr. John?
Actually got into some gaming this week. Played a little bit of Injustice 2.
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on. You cut out a bit. What was that?
I started gaming again this week, like actually playing stuff. Was playing Injustice 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually downloading Resident Evil 7 right now because that trailer for 8 looks cool. I want to, get caught up in the story.
For sure.
And work. That's it.
Alrighty. On my end, I saw the new Bill and Ted trailer. I mean, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird that they want to do another Bill and Ted and they want to do another Wayne's World because it seems how many decades too late. But I mean, if it makes money, it makes money, I suppose. It doesn't look offensively awful, and I don't mean that in a political sense. I just mean it doesn't look super shitty, but at the same time, it's Bill and Ted in 2020, so yeah. Keanu Reeves, I mean, we all know what Keanu Reeves looks like. He's always kind of, constantly in the media, so it's not like we haven't seen him in a while. But the other dude looks like shit. Like, that guy looked like he aged 1,000 years doing whatever he's been doing ever since the last Bill and Ted. So, I mean, I might see it. We'll see. I mean, with COVID going on, it might just come out on digital right away like most things, but we'll see. Other than that, struggled through a few sessions of Outer Worlds on Switch, which is still really blurry and hard to enjoy, so I just started another campaign in Pillars of Eternity, and that's been going really smooth. That game translates so well. That and Divinity 2 translates so well to the Switch. It's actually really impressive, especially because there's a lot of text scaling issues and stuff that you think would be problems, but they're actually not in the game, so, taking a PC game where you're, and they're able to think of a system where you can highlight each character individually really fast, or all of them without a mouse. They have some smart workarounds for that. So good controller optimization on the Switch, and the games look really pretty. They run it. Pillars of Eternity runs at 60 for the most part, but it certainly does have frame drops, not like sub 30, so the game kind of just hovers somewhere between 60 and 30, but for the most part, it does look nice. Yeah, that's it. So we're about to get into the PS5 stuff, but before that, where can they find all this stuff, Ms. Mallory? Where can they find all your stuff on the internet?
You can find me at awesome_Mally on Instagram. And that's it.
Yeah, there you go. less and less so Mallory's eventually going to disappear off the internet. He's just going in the opposite direction of content. John?
At an _ evil dead guy on Twitter and Instagram respectively.
Okay. Mr. Josh?
Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, at Joshiro Joestar, YouTube, ShiroPlay5.
Alrighty. And you can find myself at ZDRocker in all the places, SlimationEntertainment.com and DisconnectedCast.com. And with that, the PS5 event did get pushed out, but it's already happened anyways. It was just a few days that it got pushed out. It got delayed to June 11. But the event was exactly what it claimed to be. It was the PS5 reveal event. After a really stupid trailer with a bunch of balls for no fucking reason, we finally got to see what the console looks like. Getting that out of the way, it looks fine. But for everybody who's saying it looks good, fuck all the way off. If you think the console looks good, you're either 12 or you're blind. But it looks alright. The Xbox Series X looks like a PC tower. The PS5 looks like a router. Facts. That's about it. But, you know, it came out. It's white. Xbox is black. Ooh, a little risque right now to do a white console, but, you know, who am I to tell PlayStation what to do? Right. So, games that did come out. Going through John, Mallory, and then Josh, what were y'all's favorite trailers that were at the reveal event?
Resi 8, surprisingly.
Okay.
Because those are supposed to be like werewolves and vampires, right?
Well, we'll get there, but yes.
Oh, yeah, Resi 8, and then Miles, and then Ghostwire.
Okay. Ms. Mallory?
I was interested in Resident Evil 8. I mean, I don't play PS games, so not unless they're on my Xbox, so I'm not too interested in the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
But Resident Evil 8 seemed really cool.
Josh?
There were actually quite a bit that I liked.
Okay, cool. Good to hear.
Probably, at the top, probably Demon Souls. And
Oh my god, shut up, Google! Stop it. Hey, shut the hell up! Hey, Google! Shut up! Hey, Google! Could you stop saying addresses? I don't even know what address you just said. That's a little weird. Anyways, Josh, I'm sorry about that. This fucker.
That was random.
Yeah, anyways, go on.
But yeah, Demon Souls and Horizon. And then there were a lot that really piqued my interest. I mean, Stray has a cat.
Yeah, Stray looked pretty cool.
Returnal actually looks really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, the Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank. But yeah.
All right, very cool. And we are going to go kind of like our takes on each of the stuff. What if we have any thoughts on each of the shows? We are going to go kind of like through it on a list. But for me, yeah, it was pretty much the Miles Morales, of course. I think that's probably the most universally exciting one. Stray did look interesting just because that was one of the games I expected the least. We didn't go through the Sackboy Adventure game because who gives a shit. And then Horizon. Demon Souls does look cool, but I'm probably not going to play it too much because I'm bad at those games, so there's that. And then, of course, Resident Evil 8 looked dope, so yeah, good stuff. Alright, first off, we're going to go through Horizon 2, the Forbidden West. Was there anything in particular for any of y'all that like stood out in the trailer? Is something that you saw, that an area or something that was like stood out to you that you found interesting, or something you want to see in the game that was missing in the original game?
Yeah, the underwater exploration looks pretty dope.
Yes, that's fair. That's a good thing to point out because that certainly wasn't really a thing in the first game. So good point, sir. For me, more combat styles. I'm always open to new weapons, new combat techniques. I think that's one of the things that does excite me about Monster Hunter games is trying to see what they usually add a new weapon in every game, or at least every few games they add a new style and weapon. So I would like to see something drastically different for Aloy to do. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the underwater exploration. It kind of seems like the focus of the game is going to be that red shit that kind of makes the machines kind of go berserk.
Mm-hmm. not much.
Yeah.
Kind of just see it, right? But there's not really much hint of what the hell.
Yeah.
Like a virus or something, I suppose.
Yeah. So, it should be good. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, so...
Yeah, that one was definitely... it's a game that wasn't necessarily surprisingly good to me in the sense of, like, when I first saw the reveal of it, I just thought of Monster Hunter with mechanical dinosaurs, like aesthetically. The thing that did have me wary at first, though, was it's by the Killzone people, and the Killzone games are trash, so I was like, uh-oh. But it ended up being great, so I'm very curious for more.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see more. Any type of... my biggest fear, I guess if we want to go into what we might be afraid to... We don't have to do this for every single one, but my particular thing I'd be worried to hear is every single time a game progresses, I'm always worried about character detraction instead of character development. And example of that I can say confidently is I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. Probably one of the bigger of the people I know because I've played every single game, which is not something most people can say because most people probably gave up after like Tomb Raider 3 and then not again till, Xbox 360 probably. But even just in the modern franchise where it's like, Tomb Raider and then Rise of the Tomb Raider and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you see it's a nice development at first because, mild spoilers. In the first game, it's Laura's kind of like becoming, she's just this really innocent archaeologist, not physically intense, nothing like that. Not the confident Laura you really see in all the previous entries. But she, obviously, by the end of the game, is a lot more hardened because of the trials and tribulations she goes through during her adventures in that one. The second one, because they already developed their character, focus more on actual tomb raiding, which was technically missing from the first game, and I could see a lot of people criticizing the title of the game when there's not much tomb raiding to go on. So that was a nice little step up. Then Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes and totally shits the bed, and they do a very bad job of developing Laura because they keep doing... And I'm sure this isn't the only thing that's done it. I'm sure there's movies and shows and other games that have done this, but they do the thing where they'll have Laura be like, I can't believe I killed a man. And then she'll like fucking blaze up like a room of like 50 guys and like fucking shoot him in the throat, stab him in the eye, fucking, street sweep the entire room and then be like, what have I done? And I'm just like, you killed them all. Very confidently, I might add. I'm fairly sure you screamed a few die motherfuckers in there while you were doing it. But they keep doing this thing where she's a cold-blooded killer, but then they keep making her be like, oh no, but she's human though. They try to humanize her very unnaturally. And that is something I would hate to see in Horizon Zero Dawn. Because Josh and I talked about it earlier while watching the trailer. And it did, and like, Aloy does seem to be one of the only real reasonable people in the original game. So to see her become a piece of shit or dumb in the sequel would be a little disappointing because she is probably one of the not awful people that's in the original game. Because everyone else is pretty selfish or has kind of terrible ulterior motives. So we'll see. Resident Evil 8, of course, John. So definitely let me know if there's anything you're curious to see. What stood out to you the most in the trailer? Since that was kind of like one of the forefront ones that you're excited for.
The change up from zombies, really. Like, if they are going in a more, like, Transylvanian, kind of monster, direction, I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely different.
Like, yeah, that's my shit. Like, I love Frankenstein and Dracula and all the classic lore. Mm-hmm. Also, I like that it's getting a little more action-y. Mm-hmm. And, I'm curious to see what Redfield's story is.
So, on that note, I think the thing to say is, I'm assuming you haven't played a Resident Evil game in a while. Just because I noticed one of your comments was it's more action-y.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What was the last Resident?
Like, let's play one.
Okay, so yeah, so pretty much, so you're kind of just jumping from the. Okay, yeah, because the first two games are very slow, literally survival horror. 3 as well, I would say. 4 starts to get a bit more action-y, but still has a lot of survival horror elements. But pretty much ever since 5, the game just has gotten ridiculously action, like to the point where it's like a John Woo film or like Michael Bay. where like in 5 and 6, like in 5, Chris literally punches a boulder and it explodes, which is one of the funniest scenes in that game.
I mean, how many fucking crazy ass explosions were in Resident Evil 6?
Exactly, and that's what I was about to say. So 5 has a few moments, then 6 just turns the Bay level to 1,000,000 because every scene in its terrible running frame rate is just an action. It's always jumping out of a building explosion, helicopter over the city on fire, exploding building again, rocket launcher explosion, zombie explosion, just explosions as much as you could fit. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 weren't as bad, but they were still more action driven than the previous titles. They still weren't true survival horror, which I know a lot of people are going to criticize my use of the term true survival horror, but let's face it, there used to be a formulaic what was survival horror, and the newer Resident Evils weren't that. I would say that the survival element certainly came back in 7. I'm very curious what you think, so please do keep me in the loop. I hope you get to play quite a bit of 7, because it is good. Just very different. Because as far as I've never seen any like solidified facts. If anyone out there does know, feel free to enlighten me. But as far as I know, because of the timeline that 7 was developed, it does seem like it was a counteract to PT, because it's like Capcom saw, PT does look hype. Silent Hill might be going in that first-person direction. What about Resident Evil in that direction? Now, if you told me that back then, and I might have a few Facebook posts that I do say, I have turned around since then, where I was like, really, this isn't really Resident Evil, which I still thought at the time. I genuinely did that. I wasn't trying to be contrarian just because they're changing the direction. It's definitely very different. I'm curious what you're going to see, because you were talking about 7 or 8 appealing to you because they're changing it up from zombies. To put it short, 7 does that as well with something else. So I'm very curious what you think about 7's change-ups from what you know as the traditional Zambambos in every single Resident Evil game. So I'm very curious what you think there. So yeah, that's it. That's Resident Evil harping on. Anything that you'd like to see from the game, Josh, or kind of just anything in the trailer that kind of caught your attention?
Chris Redfield looks weird.
He does look weird.
Kotaku,
I believe,
every time I see him, I was like,
he changes drastically every single time.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's not like Claire, who looked pretty consistent and then had a drastic change in Revelations 2. But yeah. Yeah,
it's like Chris is in this weird like bulking phase.
Yes, he's just roiding hard. Like, yeah. In the movies, Redfield was played by Prison Break Man, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah. Mallory, as I feel like you're going to be quiet for a majority of the things, since a lot of these are actual PS4 games and you kind of don't have interest in them because you're not probably going to go in on the PS or PS5 right away. Since we're on Resident Evil 8, was there anything to you that stuck out? Even if it's something we discussed already, feel free to kind of just reiterate it or whatever, or something you'd like to see from Resident Evil 8.
So I'm excited to see where they're going to take it, just because they are changing up the zombies. They're going back more towards old horror, so I'm excited for that part. I do think Chris looks weird. I don't know what's off about him, but he just doesn't look like normal Chris to me. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm excited to see what new mechanics they put into it and all of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think, to wrap up thoughts on Resident Evil 8, I think that one thing that they should definitely do, because 7 did it so well, although I was too much of a baby to play it that way, was VR. Because of the first person, the VR, atmosphere that it has is just perfectly optimized for it. It's not like some games where they had to shoehorn a VR version, like when they did Batman Arkham VR, or whatever the fuck it was called. That game was such a mess of inconsistency in quality, where there were some parts that were pretty cool, then there were parts where it would just be like a black screen and Batman's telling you what's happening, and it's just like, did you guys run out of the budget to show me anything? Even if it was immersion breaking and they show you a third-person cutscene of Batman doing something, to me, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, that's still better than just having a blank screen. Especially when you're playing a VR game. To me, that'd be very off-putting, just not see something all of a sudden. So, stuff like that was a little weird. But I think that 8 is another since they're sticking with this first-person formula for the main series, it's kind of interesting. They're keeping third-person and all these remakes that they're doing, but they're kind of like, we kind of like this first-person thing going on in the mainline series, so it's interesting. So I'm very curious to see what they do with that. I think that they should keep the VR element in there as a thing, which I'm sure they will. I don't recall them at the reveal event. They revealed like the new headset, the dock charger, and all that shit, but I don't recall them revealing a VR set for it yet.
I don't think so.
Okay, so
not that I'm aware of.
So what I'm gonna think, if they're smart, what they would do is probably have the current headset be usable for now, and then maybe release a new set with more power or whatever the fuck.
I mean, hopefully. What's the connector to it? Just a USB?
To sync it, yeah, but I believe it's just USB, yeah. So should be. Let's see why not.
Yeah.
Let me just put it this way. Xbox is very gung-ho about forwards compatibility. PlayStation hasn't said anything of the like yet. So that's the only reason I'm like, maybe. I think you're right. It shouldn't be that hard, but PlayStation's proven to me that lots of things are hard.
Yeah, I also question what motive or incentive there would be for PlayStation to continue looking at VR. Because, I mean, I don't really think PlayStation VR sold that much. I definitely don't hear as much hype about PlayStation VR versus like Oculus and all the other stuff.
So PlayStation VR has enthusiasts. They have a very I don't know what the numbers obviously, but they have the people that do play PSVR are like big time proprietors of it only because it is one of the cheaper ways to play VR. Now with the Oculus Quest and stuff like that, one could argue, maybe that's turning towards not again, but as it stands, how much is a PSVR? Like $400 or like $300 or $400? It's pretty expensive. I know that,
but you do need the PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Oh wait, no, actually,
you don't.
No, you don't. It's just optimized.
It's better. Yes, frame rates, textures, everything will be better. So you don't have to, but you probably should. That's definitely it. Demon Souls remake, I suppose. Right? It's just not a new Demon Souls game.
Yeah, no.
So Demon Souls remake. I think that we'll probably keep this kind of short, but like you have the most like FromSoft experience. I know you didn't like play like a extreme amount of Demon Souls, right?
No, sadly not.
Okay, so from what you know about Demon Souls, and as a fan of like those style of games, what do you know about the original game that you'd like to see them change, and what do you kind of like? Are you excited to see maybe in terms of like the game in general?
Well, I definitely hope they fix the controls. I don't think the controls aged very well. One thing, and I've seen some people kind of talk about it, is the game looks pretty bright.
Oh, for a fucking supposed to be bleak. Like the original game was dark as fuck. I honestly, on the old TV I was using, I actually had to bump up the gamma because I couldn't fucking see anything. Yeah,
like Dark Demons, like the original Demon Souls is pretty dark at times.
Yeah.
I don't even mean like tone, but
no, it's like visually dark.
Yeah, and it looks like with Demon Souls it's really brighter, but it seems too bright. Like I kind of hope they'll dial it down a bit, or at least give you the option to do so. Because I have also seen some people on Twitter talk about how the scenery just doesn't really look as breathtaking as like the original one did, because it had a lot of darker tones in there.
Man,
I'm like, here, we're also bright.
Maybe it concealed some stuff even that doesn't look so great in the brightness.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's my thing. Otherwise, I'm really excited to play it because...
Because you didn't get to play it too much originally?
I didn't get to play too much. I played like a little bit, and then, I'm not going to be able to get the full experience because the online servers have been shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is a boss fight where PvP is part of it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
And a lot of people have kind of wished that they would bring that back with the future ones, but there's only one boss in Dark Souls 2 where the boss can summon another player, but apparently in Demon Souls, like, the other person is essentially, like, the boss.
Okay.
So...
That's interesting.
Yeah, so unfortunately I'm just never going to have that true Demon Souls experience.
I wonder if they'll bring that back.
Hopefully.
Or if they're going to make solitary, because they realize what it's like when servers shut down. I could also see them shifting it to a offline only experience. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Did Demon Souls have that like online thing, like leaving notes and shit, putting like watch the fuck out here or anything like that, which I believe Dark Souls had?
I believe it did.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of carried over from that.
Pretty sure.
So basically, an easy way to transition the control scheme then, since it didn't age well, probably just copy the Dark Souls controls. Just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
That would be probably the quickest way instead of risking some bullshit.
Yeah, like I think Dark Souls 3 probably has the better controls.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Just move it over.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Hitman 3. Here's the thing about the Hitman games. I love them. A majority of them anyways. Absolution was cool. Then there was that, I think it was just called Hitman. That's why I hate games when they do that, where they just like, oh yeah, it's like the 5th game. It's going to be called the same thing as the first game. It's like, fuck off. Yeah. But anyways, here's the problem though. Even though I do love the Hitman games, the original ones, and then Absolution, and then like the second new one, or whatever the hell it is, my problem with Hitman though is it's one of the series that's hard for me to explain to people in an exciting fashion. Mm-hmm. Like, Agent 47, just really bland, but by design. He's just supposed to be no personality Joe, because he's supposed to be this straight-laced assassin. Like, he's like an agent, literally an agent. And he's just like, he's not supposed to have heart-wrenching moments. He's not supposed to think of his son as he's about to kill a soldier. Nothing dramatic like that. It's just, do the job, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's kind of like the charm to it. But at the same time, that also makes it a hard sell to people, because the trailer it's just so straightforward. It's just, assassin man, like he's gonna go do the assassination. But it looks fine. The problem we're gonna run into as we're talking about a lot of these trailers, not much of them showed gameplay. A lot of fluff and a lot of, ooh, it looks shiny.
Yeah.
But not a lot of gameplay. A few did, and I do appreciate those that did. Obviously, they show they're further in development. Will probably come out on PS4 as well. That's probably why it's that far through. But, But Hitman looks fine. Josh, any experience with Hitman games?
Absolutely not.
None?
I think I might own like some type of collection
On
on
Steam?
PS3.
Oh, okay, on PS3.
But like, yeah, 'cause I think it was like a free game at one point.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, otherwise
not really delved into
never
it.
played them. I've seen parts of the movie.
Okay. I don't remember that movie being very good.
Yeah.
Mallory, John, any Hitman experience with y'all? The game, please.
I played a little bit of it, but I just didn't really get into playing, like, finishing it. I know at the first, like, the beginning I liked it, and then I just let it go, so not much.
Mm-hmm. John?
I have whichever one was free on, like, Live or Plus. I don't even remember which system, but I've never played them.
Okay, fair enough. Next one, Ghostwire Tokyo. Still kind of hard to tell what's happening. They originally revealed that game like a year or two ago, and it's still kind of vague. I don't know what the game's about still. It's it takes place in Tokyo. That's about as much as I think. I really hope the game takes place in Osaka, just because that would be fucking hilarious if the game's called Ghostwire Tokyo. But anyways, other than that, I don't know what the hell's happening. John, you're excited. What's happening in that trailer?
Enlighten us.
I don't know, a lot of action. Ghost killing, I assume. It looks cool. It makes me think of not No More Heroes. Well, kind of, but the other one. It's not even related to Killer is Dead. That art style. But it looks interesting. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, hopefully it's not one of those games where by the time we finish it, we still don't know what's going on. I think, as far as for me personally, Ghostwire Tokyo looks interesting, but there are so many games I'm already looking forward to this gen, games I still haven't gotten to, and then games that look more interesting than next gen already, that I definitely see myself taking a really long time to get to it, because it does look cool, but it doesn't have high priority on my list yet, especially of stuff I've seen already. So.
Yeah. I gotta feel the same way. It looks interesting, it looks cool, but I would probably need to know more about the game before I decide to put any priority on buying it or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, a game I forgot to put in there was Godfall. They finally showed gameplay of it.
Yeah.
The more I see it, I just think of like Anubis Head Destiny. That's all I can think of.
Even though there already was an Anubis Head in Destiny.
There already is, yeah.
I fucking love that helmet.
Yeah, so...
I was so happy when I finally got it.
It just gives me Destiny vibes, even though I'm sure the gameplay... I mean, it looks like the game doesn't really... It's a lot faster paced than Destiny. It's third person, but I just can't get away from Destiny, like, feels. But it looks fine. John, if you and Mallory don't have input on that, don't worry, I didn't put it on the list by accident, so don't worry about that. They had Kenna.
Same vibe. Looks like Destiny.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, I saw the Godfall. Same thing. It looks like Destiny. Like Destiny meets Anthem.
Mm-hmm. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. That trailer, it looks like a cute game. It's not supposed to look cute. It's supposed to be kind of like, you know, it's animated, but like very animation-y, like very, you know, big eyes and like very cutesy aesthetic, but it does look like it's going for like a kind of like a dark motif. There's like a spirit in the forest or some shit. I just kept losing my attention to it because the story didn't seem very fucking interesting. It's just like this girl has a staff or some shit, and then there's an evil thing
turn
in
into a bow and arrow
forest. Yeah,
it looks like it might be cool.
Yeah, I think that I would just have to know more of what the fuck it's about, because I would have a hard time investing in a game where it looks nice, but I'm just walking around like, what is the story? What is happening?
Yeah.
So they didn't really, they revealed that was about it, but did Kenna appeal to either of you two on the call?
It looks cute. I mean, it definitely caught my eye just because of the graphics, but I have no idea what's going on in that game, so I'd want to see a little bit more before I actually play it.
Not really my bag.
All right, fair. Returnal, Josh. Returnal was one of the ones you found interesting, right?
Yeah.
What anything in particular stand out to you during that trailer?
Most of a lot of the aesthetic, like fucking, it looks like she's on like some fucking crazy demon planet.
Yeah.
And then so and then it's like, oh man, is this like space Dark Souls? Because it's canon that she dies and then comes back or whatever. So. But yeah, it seems kind of neat, and like kind of third-person shooter, fucking crazy demon aliens. So
some cool designs in there for sure.
Yeah, so definitely interested to learn more about it. Yeah, so that one looks pretty neat. Which I'm actually surprised because I haven't seen too many people talk about it.
I'd never heard of it until that reveal.
Yeah, like
usually I hear coming up to this, I knew a lot about these about a lot of these games, but that one.
Yeah, because after, like, I didn't get to watch the reveal live, but afterwards I saw a lot of people talking about it, whether it was Facebook or Twitter. I didn't see anybody talk about this one. No. Which is weird, because it looked pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, right? It's kind of one of those overshadowed ones because they revealed so much in a row. It's kind of the problem with having an overloaded showcase, but I think at this point, we're going to talk about alleged PS5 price point coming up, but I think they're trying to justify price and people getting the console ASAP, so we'll see. John, Mal, anything about Returnal appeal to you guys?
Not really.
Made me think of that one Tom Cruise movie. Looks cool.
Oh, when they keep dying. And,
the one that has like two names.
Edge of Tomorrow, is that it?
That was one of them, yep. Edge of Tomorrow and whatever the hell the other one's called. Or the other title was. Stray. Play as a cat, it seems.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of neon, cool, like aesthetic. Like, kind of looks dope.
Robots.
Dope. Cyberpunk cat.
Cat with a backpack.
Yep, so.
It looks great.
It does look pretty damn cool, so we'll see. Damn, there wasn't really any gameplay in that one also. I would have liked to see...
No, but you're playing as a cat.
If it's going to be a platformer, or if it's going to be a first-person shooter, or whatever the fuck it might be. I don't know. I can't say it's not going to be an FPS. It certainly doesn't look like it'll be one, but I can't say it isn't.
I know it's been talked about before, but I know you're a cat, and you just fucking, like, sneak around and shit.
But I'm assuming there's objectives, though.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think you're supposed to, like, solve a mystery.
Okay.
As a cat. Why a cat is solving a mystery is beyond me, but...
Who knows?
Yeah, who cares?
Who knows? The rescue rangers were fucking squirrels that solved shit, so I mean...
Well, I think it was like 2 chipmunks.
Yeah.
And... weren't the other 2 mice?
Yeah, and they flew planes and shit, so... Yeah. Who knows, man? Animals are wild. You guys... Sorry, that was a really weird pause because I thought about talking, but then I already said everything I needed to say, so I had nothing to add to that. John, Mal, anything to add to the Cats? The movie?
Oh my gosh.
You play as a cat, so I'm about it.
Maybe he's just trying to be like Sherlock Holmes. He's living out his dream.
Could be. Only if you get to unlock that hat. Square Enix's Project Athia, a game that's probably not going to come out for another 12 years, was recently revealed, and it looks like a Square Enix cinematic. I really don't have much to add to that. I don't know what's happening in the fucking thing, and there's just a lot of... They're flying all over the place for some reason, and environments, and leaves, and light. God rays everywhere.
Well, it looks pretty.
It looks pretty. But I'm just...
Are they developing it or just publishing it?
I thought it was a Square Enix game, like an actual Square Enix game.
Oh.
Which is why I'm really just going to check in on it in 5 years when it's like 10% done. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm honestly surprised at doing anything else with 7 remastered.
I know, we just talked about that. They just destroyed your entire thing. You were just talking about how they should just focus on that.
Thanks,
Those bastards.
Square Enix.
But yeah, there's that. I just don't know enough about it to really, Ratchet and Clank, it's cute. It's more Ratchet and Clank. I don't see it breaking the mold, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah, it looks cool. Hilariously enough, though, I think...
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, by the way, because I know someone's going to get mad
yeah.
that I didn't say the subtitle.
I think I saw a tweet where Pat quote retweeted somebody who was just like, "Oh man, look at this! Like, there's no loading times at all." And he's like, "What are you talking about? You can clearly see the levels loading like right before your eyes, like in the scene where he's going through the continual rifts, and it's so true. Like you see these zones.
No, it's not loading though.
Up. Yeah, no, apparently not.
What the person should have said is, "There's no like cutaway black screen with a bar on it."
Yeah,
loading.
there's no loading screens. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What he should have said. He just. It could just be an idiot. I don't know.
It could be. Who knows?
But Ratchet and Clank should be fine. Good stuff.
Should be good. Everybody's going crazy over that female Lombax. You know how the internet do. Yeah,
they certainly do. Jesus, yeah, I'm sure they do a lot of things already with that. So,
yeah.
Gran Turismo 7. It's PlayStation's version of Forza. It's just what it is. Personally, I'm more of a Forza guy than a Gran Turismo guy, but
same.
Should be fine, I guess.
I mean, I remember like Gran Turismo used to be all the hype and rage, and then
a long time ago, yeah. 3 was like the last one that was like really.
Yeah, and then I played Forza 3, and it's so hard to look back after that.
It certainly is. It's just definitely a better. They both claim to be simulators. I just feel Forza does it better.
Yeah, it's just a shame that Forza 4 was probably the last really good one, I think.
Yeah, and then Horizon and Horizon 2 were not that good. And
I mean, I've heard decent one about Horizons. I personally haven't played them.
Well, okay, Horizon 2 was the bad one because they ended up doing like a shitload of DLC and they locked a bunch of cars behind.
Now, I will say that is one thing that sucks, but I don't really think it's on Forza's fault because I think, like, what was it? Electronic Arts had the rights to like Porsche. So
that's why they had that weird expansion for for 4, I believe it was.
Yeah, like they had to get the rights and all that shit. So.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and that is really what
that
really
is kind
fucking
of out of
sucks.
Control.
But yeah, for me, like Forza 3 and 4 were
they're so good,
so great. Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Driving cars. I think Jim Sterling made a really good point in his PlayStation, which I believe is the best PlayStation reveal event commentary, because he's the only one who didn't have Sony's penis in his mouth. Like, he just said what it was. The games that looked interesting, and then the games that were honestly not that great, dude was just like, yep, it's a thing. Mm-hmm. He didn't necessarily say any of them were bad. He was just like, yeah, it looks fine. And then finally, on our docket at least, there was some other stuff, but wrapping it up for us, for the PS5 games that they revealed, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So, this game, still a lot of people are excited for it, and I'm not necessarily unexcited for it, but I do know that the hype was tapered down a bit once they did announce that it's kind of just, it's more PS4 Spider-Man, just you're playing as Miles Morales for these missions.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a full game. How much of a game it is, we'll see. What I would be okay with, and this is putting a lot of faith in Sony, because they're the ones publishing it. I know Insomniac Games is making it, but Sony's the one bankrolling it. So, if the game is basically just a reskinned, or at least as pretty much almost as long as PS4 Spider-Man, but it's just Miles Morales this time, I'm almost okay with that as a way to just kind of introduce Miles to those who may not know who he is. I mean, they introduced him in the game originally, so he's somewhat there. But this is to set the stage more for him before they either make him the main Spider-Man, or maybe they're going to add co-op in the future games, and one can be Parker, one can be Miles Morales, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just may go the really bold route and kill off Peter Parker. Regardless of why they're bringing Miles Morales into this, I think that if it's at least, again, even if it's just a reskinned version of the first game, as a landing template and just honestly just a cash grab for PS5 anyways, I think it's a good way to kind of get started, as long as they can come up with a proper sequel that's not going to be like 5 years from now.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be, filled with good content.
We can hope.
However, if it is, essentially like an expansion.
Like it's like a 3-hour game.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that.
God, I hope it's not 3 hours. But I would kind of like to see maybe if I might open the doors to some of the other, like 2099 or Spider-Gwen, Noir Spider-Man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That might be kind of fun to see. But for Miles Morales, I think it would be more ideal if it was like a full-length game.
Yeah. A bit of a slide being just an add-on.
Yeah.
A standalone add-on as well. A standalone or add-on.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it, Infamous Second Son, and then the one with the chick with the pink lights and shit. That was First Light or whatever the fuck.
Was it First Light?
Yeah.
Probably.
That was a standalone or an expansion.
That's actually the first and only Infamous game I've played.
You didn't even play the Second Son?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I didn't play Second Son.
She is in it. She's cool. So
Yeah.
I already got used to her, and then I got to play as her. She's cool.
Yeah, I never got to finish it, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. Mal, John, anything you'd like to see from Spoderman Miles Morales?
Hanging on to what Josh said, I'd like to see it open up more to, like, the Spider-Verse. Like bring in Noir and Gwen and all that. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, I hope it's like a pretty lengthy game. Like we get a good 20 hours at least out of it.
Oh yeah, at least with side missions and whatnot. Yeah. Mal, it's going to be locked to PlayStation, but anything you'd like to see from Spoderman?
Not really. I didn't play the last one. I ended up just giving it away. So, no.
I could have gone for a joke with you not being interested in this game, but I'm not going to go there. PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X specs-wise. Xbox Series X, the factually specs-wise more powerful console. They're pretty evenly matched. It has a slightly stronger CPU, a slightly stronger GPU. They have the same amount of that. The solid-state drive in the Xbox Series X that comes with it is going to be a bit bigger. It's weird. PlayStation 5's out-of-the-box solid-state drive is 825 gigs. What the fuck is that? Why not 800 or 900? Why did you stop?
That's such a weird... Why not 1 terabyte?
Oh, yeah. Which is what the Xbox Series X's default drive is going to be, is a 1 terabyte solid-state drive.
And it's weird, too, because they eventually upgraded the PS4 to have 1 terabyte.
And then you're going to start backwards.
Unless it is 1 terabyte, but like a certain amount is
they're just
cached.
Like PS4's awful cache. Like, fucking like a quarter of the drive is fucked.
Yeah, like maybe it's like for its... Like, maybe the OS is going to be using up a fuck ton of shit.
Could be. Other than that, everything else is pretty evenly matched, frame rate-wise, resolution-wise, etc., etc. The only other thing that Xbox edges the PS5 out on is backwards compatibility. Xbox Series X will be 100% backwards compatible with Xbox One, and then keeping the already added, and potentially more, 360 and OG Xbox games, whereas PlayStation 5 has... almost all. So they haven't revealed, is it 80%, is it 90%? But most PS4 games will be backwards compatible with the PS5, but nothing before. Your PS3, PS2, and PS1 games will still remain on the shelf because they have no... they can't go that far back yet. Pat from Castle Super Beast made a funny... he pointed out a funny note that after it aired, the upload of the... PlayStation event was actually DMCA taken down off of Sony's own channel. They got copyright stricken and the video was taken down, even though it's Sony's video. So good job, YouTube, with that. PlayStation taking a step out of Xbox's book, which Xbox will probably not get credit for despite doing it first. They're going to have an all-digital version available at launch. Personally, for people like me who live in the future world where we don't have physical games anymore, getting one without a drive is fine with me, especially if they do the Xbox One route where the console will be a bit cheaper without the drive. I'm cool with that. I mean, it'll suck when I eventually want to watch a Blu-ray and I'm like, whoops, I forgot I don't have a disc drive. It depends on the price drop difference. If it's like over $100, I'll probably just get the all-digital version. But if it's only like $50, fuck that. I'd rather get the drive at that point, because to get an external Blu-ray player will just be as much anyway, so you might as well. Apparently there was a listing on a site to pre-order the PS5, so the price may have been leaked, or they may have just been guesstimating. But if this leak is correct, and we'll see this when Sony finally has a statement on it, the PS5 will cost $699.99 out of the box, which is jumping $300 more than last gen. So we're heading back towards the almost $800 console after tax, anyways. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. The other thing with the game reveals that I had an issue with is a lot of them didn't have dates, and I mean straight up dates. Yes, they said years. Yeah. 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck all to me until it comes out. So what's the date?
Yeah, because the console's supposed to come out later this year, isn't it?
It's listed to come out between November and December.
Yeah, so it's like you're going to buy it and be like, cool.
There's nothing.
Just a few more months until there's some games.
Yep, which the PS4 had the same problem and the PS3 had the same issue. The PS3 fucking took years to get like really good games on it.
Yeah.
The PS4 took like 6 to 8 months before they finally got something to play on there. But again, that's 6 to 8 months that you could have just been playing your PS3 until it was worth getting a PS4. So we'll see. That's a thing. The worth of it. The launch worth of it anyways. And that is it for that one. Going on Xbox news, Xbox, of course, announced that they're going to have what they call Microsoft's Power Delivery on their Xbox now. Any games, basically, from here on out, and since I guess Xbox One is all forwards compatible, or backwards compatible with Xbox One, I'm assuming the Series X means that and beyond. They claim that when you buy a game for this generation, that's it, and you can play it from now until infinity, or until Xbox doesn't exist as a console anymore. What does that mean? That means no more bullshit remastered versions. They can just patch in better textures for the future stuff. They can just upscale it like what they did with backwards compatibility. If you play KOTOR or something on your Xbox One, it is upscaled to 4K, upscaled to a better frame rate. So they're basically like, buy this game once, and you don't have to worry about God of War remastered, or PS, or Resident Evil 4. Fucking the 8th version of it or whatever the fuck. They're just like, just buy it once and you'll always have it. And so that's an interesting bold promise, especially when it comes to licensing. So I'm assuming they're probably going to just mean that for their games, but if they mean it for any Xbox One games, or Series X or whatever the fuck, that's a pretty bold claim. So we will see. But eliminating the need for bullshit remasters and HD shit all the time, that's always nice. So we'll see. Microsoft recently filed a new trademark for Xbox Series, so it seems like they're probably going to be releasing it's rumored they're going to be releasing a cheaper version as well. They haven't, of course, planned anything. It's supposed to be the Elite console already, so I don't think they're going to do like another higher one, but there's apparently probably going to be a budget one coming out as well, so we'll see. Itch.io put out a bundle for all proceeds, of course, go to racial injustice and equality for only $5. For those who don't know what Itch.io is, it's a site where they sell video games. It's something that's not Steam or Epic Game Store. So there's that. But yeah, at Itch.io for $5. I don't know how long the bundle's running, so do excuse me if it's already expired by now. But for $5, you get over 700 games, and they are still constantly adding more. They just recently added Celeste, which is an awesome kind of like
it's like a platformer,
right? Where you're like, you got to remember the level basically and not fuck up at each thing and
like
all
I have it on
stuff.
Switch. I really need to play.
Oh, it's fantastic! You will love it. They do a really fantastic job of like addressing LGBTQ or LGBTQ plus, what I don't want to fuck that up, but yeah, those kind of issues and everything. So
I definitely have heard that. Like, I've even seen images where like they show
screenshots
certain
of
things,
what they're saying and stuff. Yeah, it's a fantastic game about fucking finding yourself, getting comfortable with your identity, and the inner demons that may be real demons that come along with self-discovery. So it's really good. It's really good. A lot of cool challenges. One thing I will say out of the bat for anyone who hasn't played Celeste. Yeah, don't have to get the little CD deals. Those are all 100%, or strawberries, excuse me. Those are all 100% collectibles at the very beginning of the game, and a lot of people seem to just not read, but it does tell you. That's just straight up for fucking flex and clout if you got all the strawberries. Those are really fucking hard. Do not waste your time doing them because you do not get anything for doing it other than bragging rights. So It's just, it's just an extra, was the game too easy for you? Whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's a pretty tough game. John, Mal, have either of you guys played Celeste? Nope, they're dead.
I have not. It always looked interesting, but I just never got around to it.
It's a negative for me.
All right. So where the point I was going with that is not just is it for a good cause, but for $5, Celeste alone is already worth it. Oh, yeah. So boom, there you go. But there's a lot of amazing indie games on there, so definitely worth checking out. If that bundle is still available, make sure to grab it when you can. From the last span of a week, it was going to go from an announcement for a future thing to already being out, but Persona 4 Golden is now available already on Steam. $20 for the definitive version of Persona 4 Golden. Not just does Persona 4 Golden have like all the contents of Persona 4 plus more stuff or whatever, but apparently it runs amazing on PC, so it is considered the best way to play unless you're fucking rocking a Vita still, and you want to run around with that. So that's really cool. I'll tell you this, if they can kick that shit to Switch, I will, for $20, even if they do that weird thing where some of the Switch ports are getting upscaled in price, even for $30, I would 100% pick up Persona 4 Golden on Switch. So I'd be down with that. Need for Speed Heat. It's a game that came out already. I don't even know if it's a good Need for Speed game, but they are doing, I believe it's getting added to EA Access, but they're also doing one more update which will make it cross-play between Xbox One, PS4, and PC, which makes it the first Need for Speed game to have cross-play between those consoles. That patch drops on June 16, and it is the final update, and then it's dead after that. I didn't look too far into it just because I really just don't give a shit, and I kind of just curious if any of you guys see a point to it. Destiny 2 is going to be ported to the next gen of consoles and even getting some optimizations. Is Destiny 2 even fucking relevant enough to not be just killed off already?
I haven't played in a while, so I can't really say for sure.
I think the fact that we haven't really discussed or heard, because I usually keep track of that game just as something to talk about, but I just haven't even heard anything added to it lately that even makes it seem like it's worth it. Just seems like a lot of work for no reason. But I guess at this point, they might be seeing it as this is just the last thing. We only have the money to keep this Destiny going. There is no Destiny 3, basically, at this point. I feel like it might be a budgeting thing where, like, this game did not make enough money. This game made enough money to maybe support itself, but this game did not make enough money that we're ever going to do another Destiny again. Once this is dead, fuck it. And I feel like that's kind of what it's reflecting. Outlast Trials was recently announced. That's going to be multi-platform. But it's interesting. Did you guys have all played Outlast at some point? At least Outlast 1, I'm assuming?
Only when I was stupid drunk.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's strange. You wasted all the batteries.
Yeah.
That was the thing. John, Mal, any Outlast?
Didn't we play that forever ago?
Okay. Mal?
I played a little bit of it, but yeah.
All right. Exhilarating stories, gents. Anyways, no, you're good. But anyways, yeah, Outlast 2 had problems. Outlast 1 was a really scary fucking game. Then I didn't play the DLC for that. Whistleblower, I didn't play the DLC for that, but apparently that was pretty scary. Outlast 2, you're going around like this overly religious town, but there were some weird AI issues where I feel like they were like overly smart, where there's no way they saw you go in that canister and they still go straight to you and fucking pull you out and you're like, fuck off. That wasn't a thing. Anyways, Outlast Trials is going to be a brand new Outlast game, but it's going to shake up the formula a bit. There's not much details other than the fact that people do know that it's a co-op Outlast game that takes place in the Cold War. So what a lot of people are assuming is it's supposed to be a Dead by Daylight Friday the 13th competitor in the Outlast universe. So we'll see as more details come out on it. There's no gameplay footage or anything, but it does come out 2021, so we will see.
I know when you initially announced the title, my brain immediately went to like a weird Outlast and Trials crossover.
Yeah, dude, I wish. I know. When I read that shit too, I was kind of like, I wish that was the case. And before we wrap up, just a nice little announcement I wanted to give out because it's something I did ask for, and now it happened, so I'm pretty hyped for that. The Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection is coming to all platforms, including Switch, so I'm pretty excited for that. I do love Samurai Showdown, and this will contain the original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as Samurai Showdown 5 Special. 5 Special and Samurai Showdown 5 Perfect, which has never been released, at least here in the States, so it's the first time that it's going to be readily available to play as part of this collection for the first time in the States, and apparently that was like the last Samurai Showdown game to come out for Neo Geo, and apparently it's really badass, so it's kind of a shame that it didn't come here. Probably because Samurai Showdown doesn't quite have the same presence as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat here, so that's got to be what it is. But yeah, that'll come out July 20. It comes out on Epic Games first, I believe it. I forgot if it's if I recall correctly, so fuck me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's going to come out on Epic Games in a few days for free on Epic Games Store. So that's a very bold release to come out for free first, because you feel like you're killing some of your profits there. But there's a lot of people who don't want to buy from Epic Games or don't want to play on PC. For everybody else, it'll be coming out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and other PC outlets on July 28th. So a bit more of a wait, but, there's that. Oh! And of course, in less than a month, you guys will never not hear me shut the fuck up about it once it comes out, whether it's good or bad. I'm hoping for, it's good. Deadly Premonition 2, the game that should have never happened. God bless Jim Sterling that it's happening, because the devs literally said that it's pretty much because of Jim is why that game even did as good as it did. It's happening, and I'm very excited. The screenshots look good. They have such a high hurdle to cross, because it's a game that's functionally broken, but how do you reenact the brokenness without it being an actually broken game? So I'm very curious how they're going to go with that. Is it going to still have the cheesy voice acting? Is it going to still have the weird scenes? Is it still going to have somewhat jank to it? That makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like that's hard to replicate, so we'll see. But those are two games that I'm excited for. Is there anything coming out soon that you guys are looking forward to? That you guys have release dates or want to talk or push?
Last of Us 2, I guess. Okay. Coming out in less than a week, Friday. Yeah.
There you go. Last of Us 2 for John. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Games coming out soon that you're excited for?
I don't think so. I don't. It's been so hard trying to keep track of like what's coming out, especially like ever since this pandemic shit hit. So. And
we do understand that, folks. We do understand that is a thing, which is why you should listen to Disconnected Cast every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm assuming Mallory didn't have a game, so I'm not really trying to cut her off on purpose, but that is it. And we will see you guys next time. Until then, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.